Welcome back to another Alliance War. For Loki, we're currently ranked 6 going into the second half of Season 7. And today our opponents are none other than MNG, Marvel's Notorious Gamers, an alliance who is well known for being a top 3 alliance. I'm going to go ahead and pop on a medium attack boost here, as well as a medium health boost, and I think I go with the mid-level champion boost as well. Have a relatively difficult path ahead of me. I'm hoping that I can get by with just the medium boost here. Kicking things off with a 5-star Cosmic Champion, and has that persistent charge, so I know this is going to be a Heimdall. I think it could also be Corvus, so don't just assume it's going to be a Heimdall, but yeah, I knew this one was going to be Heimdall. So it's a blockable L1. Going to go in here with Stark Spidey. It's got the Aggression Fury as well, so not going to spend too much time building up poise charges. I am going to try to gain 1 or 2 poise charges before going in. And you can see here I kind of dropped my block there for a moment, thinking I had a good parry, I guess, or maybe I was trying to backdash. I don't remember exactly, to be honest. But I did drop my block. I did take a hit there. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. Get a heavy attack off there to drain the power. Don't really want to deal with Heimdall throwing special so much. Now here I should have stopped before I got to before I pushed him over to a bar of power. It would have been safer if I did 4-hit combo, then backed off, waited for him to come at me again, do a 5-hit combo into special. Luckily he did not throw his special though. The thing about Heimdall is that you have to hit him with a heavy attack basically after he throws a special. You have to counter his heavy with your own, otherwise you can get auto-blocked. Alright, I've got a 565 Science Champion here, again with that persistent charge, so I know this is going to be MODOK on this Bane Stun Immune node. And MODOK here is it's a rough fight. It's a rough fight, so I do go ahead and pop on the combat regen to help me out here a little bit. And this is actually Mirage Noir's MODOK, which he also has a YouTube channel if you're not familiar. So yeah, you can find some great Alliance War content there. As for this fight, basically just baiting out heavy attacks to get my openings. He's going to auto-block it, so, I have to bait that out twice, basically, before I can get any damage in. I get a great Bane transfer there. One of the best Bane transfers of my life. Very thankful for that. The first Bane transfer is really the most important, since when he has a lot of HP, that's when Bane is going to deal the most amount of damage. So I get another really solid Bane transfer there. Fight's going great. I do slip up a little bit, and I'm not able to evade that special, and it's not that big a deal that I had to block it. However, that does prevent me from going in, attacking, taking out his auto block. So that's why it's so important to actually time those evades on this node in particular. But in any case, we do get him to go down here without too much trouble. That was one of the cleaner fights that I've ever had on that node. Normally, that MODOK fight I end up with a little bit less HP than that. And then we pull up to node 24 with this 5-star skill champion, stacked HP. Look at that, 176,000 HP on a non-mini boss node. I know this is Korg. I could tell already just by the stats, the low attack, super high HP. I know I'm going to be taking this with Void, and yeah, you're going to see me be a little bit hesitant here. I'm checking the boost and everything, making sure I still have the regen on, just trying to gather my thoughts a little bit. Against Korg, you have to kind of change the way you fight, the way you approach the fight. As long as you go in with the right mindset, then it's really not that bad of a fight, but you really have to take a moment to kind of concentrate and shift gears a little bit going into this fight. So block, bait out a heavy attack to get things going. And we get the rock shield charges down pretty nicely here. Get the first couple of debuffs going. Unfortunately, no petrify. Petrify is what I'm looking for. I do keep dexterity on. This way I can evade out of those special ones and get openings that way. Plus, since this is buffet, dexterity actually will help contribute towards a pretty good amount of damage. Now watch his rock shield charges right here. They don't really go down because I'm triggering Resonate on every single one of my hits. So really unfortunate luck there. And that causes a few problems. Now, number one, you can see he still has a rock shield charge, and my debuff is about to apply to him, which gets eaten, and he gains another rock shield charge. In addition to that, I was not able to get a special 1 off since I have too much power at this point, so I had to get a special 2. That further delays the fight. I still do not have a single Petrify, where at this point I should have probably two, to be honest. If not two, then the second one was about to be triggering. So, yeah, really delayed things and is making me take a lot more damage here just because of the bad RNG with Resonate, where it's triggering on every single hit. Normally it doesn't do that. Resonate is not really that helpful in this fight against Korg, but at least it normally doesn't. It's not that much of a hindrance either. It normally will, you know, will give this guy an extra couple of rock shields throughout the fight. Not a big deal. But in any case, we finally have a couple of Petrifies going. Get another couple debuffs here. Still no second Petrify after, or no first Petrify even after Fear of the Void, but now we're dealing some damage at least. This next debuff is a Petrify, so the next time I gain Dexterity, I would have dealt a lot of damage, but the degen damage does take him out in the end anyway. So that's pretty much worst case scenario in terms of RNG that can take place with the debuffs, the order of the debuffs that were landing, and also Resonate keeping his rock shield charges up. And it still managed to get through the fight, but yeah, man, that was rough. I was starting to get a little bit nervous there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pop 4 potions here to recover myself from that Korg fight, leaving a decent amount of health left that I can heal up off of this King Groot, or so I think. King Groot on this mini-boss node, you may have seen it before, where I just intentionally eat an L1 to give myself an armor break, and due to having willpower maxed out, that armor break will actually heal up quite a bit throughout the course of the fight, and, you know, I'm hoping that I can gain about 20% HP from this fight. This time I get 2 Petrifies right off the bat, which normally I'd be very happy about, but I actually want to extend this fight more. So Petrify is actually not good in this case. I didn't really want the Petrify here. And now you're going to see a whole bunch of mistakes as I'm, you know, not... I don't know what's going on, man. I'm just kind of playing poorly here, basically. Trying my best to, you know, manage the debuffs while, you know, trying to get hit with a special one, but he's not throwing the special one. Mistiming blocks and parries and all that. So yeah, I'm taking a whole bunch of hits. And at this point, I'm like, okay, man, I just need to get out of this fight. Like, I'm taking way too much damage here. All I was trying to do was try to get hit with an L1. I wasn't trying to get hit with heavy attacks and regular attacks and all that. This is no good. He's already pretty low on HP since I did get those 2 Petrifies to start. So yeah, you can see his life is pretty much down at this point, and there goes any hope that I had to heal up from this fight a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. You know, not only did I not heal, but I ended up taking a lot of damage. So I do finally intentionally get hit with the L1 here. I'm thinking, you know, I'm probably not going to be able to heal much from this, but maybe, just maybe I can squeeze out a little bit of healing. I got hit with it when I was at 54%, and I'm actually going to end the fight here at 55%. So I still did gain 1% healing off of that L1 at the end there. Oh, man. That's probably the worst King Groot fight I've ever had. I was just playing really poorly. I think I was still a little bit anxious from that Korg fight before it or something. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken a moment to kind of gather myself, because, you know, when you're fighting Korg and the fight's not going as you would hope it'd be going, you know, sometimes you get a little bit nervous, and I think that's what was going on. This war, I'm uploading it a few days later than when I recorded it, so trying to remember if that's how I felt or not, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking took place. All right, but anyway, we've got Nightcrawler on this aggression armor and explosive personality node. We've got a couple of debuffs on him already. This fight's not going to be too bad. Got an early switch on him, which was really helpful. Of course, anytime you can get an early switch on Nightcrawler, then the fight is pretty much wrapped up. Nightcrawler is really that giant pain, one of the most annoying defenders if you cannot get the switch. But if you can, then it's not too bad. He can still deal a lot of damage, though, so, you know, try my best to preserve whatever health I do have left here. But Nightcrawler, he does go down. Alright, so moving on to the next node. This one is a pretty interesting fight here. Of course, my buffs have dropped off at this point. I have to wait to get some more energy, so I am going to heal up again. But this next fight, it is a Mystic Champion. Also popping on a 15% health boost. It's a Mystic Champion, which happens to be a Mordo. And you're going to see me not really attack him all that much. Just because of how Mordo turtles up at times. And, I had some debuffs on him, so I didn't really want to... I didn't really care if he was turtling up. I was thinking, okay, he's just going to be kind of killing himself by backing off this whole time. And it ended up being a pretty cool fight. So, of course, at the start of the fight, he's not in that power gaining turtle up phase or anything like that. I do get an early petrify, which is what allows me to kind of play a little bit more, play it back a little bit, because, yeah, look at his power gain. It's really not anything too crazy once you have that first petrify going. But now I'm just waiting for him to attack, waiting for him to give me my opening, and he's about to go back into power gain again. So I'm like, okay, fine, you're going to gain power again. I still have the debuffs. They're still doing some pretty good damage to you. He finally gives me another opening there by throwing a special 2, so I do get another 5-hit combo in. Going to get one more of those coming up here, I believe. Actually, maybe not. He's back in his power gain again. So yeah, just waiting. Just waiting. Don't really want to take any chip damage. Not concerned with baiting out heavy attacks or anything like that. Either he wants to throw a special and give me an opening, or he wants to sit back and take all that degen, and that's what he's doing here. So yeah, I just thought this was pretty funny as I was going through it. It's a little bit of a longer fight because of this, but doesn't really matter. Especially with Arc Overload and that healing getting reversed a bit here, it's not exactly that long of a fight. So now I've got Fear the Void plus Petrify, and he finally does throw a special again, so going with another 5-hit combo, and he does go down. Alright, moving on to the mini-boss, the final fight for myself in this war. This was another really interesting fight, believe it or not. Normally I'm pretty tired of fighting Green Goblins on this node. See Green Goblin here all the time. But this one actually ends up being really cool as well. The start of the fight is nothing special. But yeah, stay tuned for the second half of this fight. And make sure you don't blink. Or at least after a minute goes by. This first minute, like I said, is pretty standard, pretty boring, honestly. I'm just trying to get some specials going, trying to make sure not to give him too much power, since there is that strike back node where he's going to gain a full bar of power every time I use a special. And I do have some trouble baiting out a special from this guy. Sometimes Green Goblin just doesn't want to throw it, and this is one of those cases. Where he's just being very stingy with the special, getting all the way backed up against the wall pretty much, or starting to at least. And here's about the point where you start to panic a little bit, right, when they're not throwing the specials and you're already back up against the wall. But luckily he does throw it. Does throw the special. I have a bunch of debuffs on at this point, so I know I'm pretty much in the clear as far as not really in trouble this fight. I don't have to evade the specials anymore. I've got a bunch of debuffs going. I got a ton of health, so I just block the first 2 hits of that special 2. And yeah, waiting for that last debuff to land. There we go. Now Fear the Void's going to start activating. I back off instead of throwing the special 1, just one time, just to wait a little bit so I can get another debuff after Fear the Void. And now watch his health pool. It's just melting. Oh my god. That's so cool, man. Got the right amount of his passives going, and this node has recovery, and I had petrifies plus Fear the Void, so yeah, he just absolutely melted. Never seen a mini boss go from 50% to dead that quickly. That's pretty awesome. But in any case, like I said, that was my final fight for this war. We did not win this war, unfortunately. It was very close. It was down to the wire. We almost took the victory from MNG. One of these days, we're actually going to beat these guys, but today was not that day. Good war to you guys over in MNG, and that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Take care.